as I say, back on board. And I have first off, I want to apologize. In fact, I just did it. I've been looking at some of the tapes. And one of the things that I've been doing, smacking my lips. Smack. Irritating habit. I remember when I was a child, once upon a time, raised in the Catholic Church. We went to Mass 2-3 times a week during the morning, and then every Sunday. And there was this one fellow, evidently he knew my dad or something, but we ended up sitting beside this guy, and he smacked his lips almost every breath. I got so sick. I can still see him. Hands clasped, I'm doing it myself. Hands clasped together, smacking his lips. I don't know whether he thought that it would, God hurt him better or what, but anyway, I noticed in the tapes that I made that on some of them I was smacking my lips. So I promise to do my best to overcome this terrible habit. I have a subject tonight that is near and dear to my heart, and it's our school system. I don't know if any of you folks have observed that I think the United States is 24th in the world in scholastically. The kids, if you put them all in a room from all the countries, we come off real bad in a testing situation. And year after year after year, we spend more money, and we buy computers, and we have open classrooms, and we have closed classrooms, and we come up with schemes and just endless ideas of how we're going to raise these scores up. Well, I thought, I'm in Texas. Those of you that might not be familiar with it, we're one of the worst. I mean, Texas's scholastic system really is bad. It's almost at the bottom in the United States. I'm not really aware of the absolute statistics, but it's bad. So I thought, well, I might run for governor. And my primary platform plank would be that I would, within about 10 years, or within 4 years, that's the term, I'd guarantee that the SAT scores, the competency tests that they give in these schools would be markedly improved. I wouldn't buy any more computers, and I wouldn't spend much, actually probably wouldn't spend as much money. What I would do is, first off, I would go to every child's parent, and I would make them sign a waiver, because we're bringing back corporal punishment or physical pain. I don't know if you've ever been in a classroom in the last 25 years in Texas. It's pandemonium. I mean, they're playing movies just to keep them quiet. I went in years ago, my kids were in a school in Arlington, Texas. And I was in there for a while, and the teacher spent the whole time screaming, "Sit down, shut up, sit down, shut up," and they never did. Stuff flying through the air, it was just pandemonium. Teachers didn't have control. So I, as the head of state in the state government, I probably spend about $50 million. And I'd apply these funds by going around to Gold's Gym and other recreational things, and I would hire as many muscle men as it would take. And from the 5th grade up through senior, I'd put one in every classroom with strict orders that if some wiseacre started running his mouth and disrupting things, he was to shut him up by whatever means. There'd be a break-in period where it would probably get kind of violent. But it would accomplish two things. The plethora, I don't think it's a good word, but the group of children that disrupt these classrooms, after a while, they would either shut up and learn, or they would shut up and allow the other kids that might want to learn. You know, the pandemonium would go out of the classroom. And I'm not talking about pretty pleased with sugar and cream on it. I'm talking about causing them a little physical pain. I don't mean breaking arms and legs or anything, but as we all know, particularly young adolescent boys from broken homes, you know, they don't have to listen to anybody. They get up around 11, 12 years old. They're as big as mama. And they can go in the classroom and just do any kind of diabolical thing that they want to. And the parent, usually it's female, you know, she's thrown her husband out, so there's no male role model in the house, and the kid just goes bonkers. Now, I'm not saying that some of the girls don't too, but as a rule, all this disruption in these classrooms is pretty well led on by, you know, young adolescent men. So, I'd put a collar on them, and they'd either straighten up or they'd go home. They wouldn't be in that environment. And if they didn't, you know, I think that they'd probably straighten up. If you put them from the 5th grade through the senior, by the time those 5th graders got up to 8th, 9th, 10th grade, they would have such respect and figure of that monster in the corner that the classroom would probably be pretty quiet. And I can almost guarantee you, with that kind of an environment going on, that the SAT scores and the subjects that the teachers would be teaching would be learned, and the scores would go up. So I think I'll run for governor. We're going to beat up all the kids. And with that in mind, here's my little buddy. Night, all.